Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Antonio Silva and this is my latest Maya rig build demonstration. What you have in front of you right here is my transforming bike. This is actually just the bipedal rig. The other rig, the actual transforming rig, is separate, so I'll just be going over this one for now. Now, this rig is rather straightforward. It's a standard biped and it holds itself up really well. As you can see, the controls are set up here, standard. And what's really neat about this rig is the fact that uh, it switches between actually two different rigs. The the bike rig is inside of this rig, however, at this moment in time, it's turned off, and the controls for it are in its own file, in order to keep simplicity, keep it simple. I found that having both rigs, all the controllers in one set, was just too complicated. And in order to create a steadier flow, make it much more simple, I decided to split them up into two separate systems. Um, the beauty behind this rig is that it still is rather intricate and uses a combination of coding and script in order to have it function. For example, let me just pull out his hand real quick. Go in here, grab his hand, and pull it out. If you look right here at the bottom, his hand controls are actually down here, and they've been synced with this ring right here, which has all the controls inside. Just as a quick example is, I believe this is the right hand side. By moving it, I'm allowed to open and close his hand, and regardless of where it rests, as long as that connector is resting inside of there, the hand will stay that way. So this is handy if, for example, if he was in a fight and I wanted his fist to stay a certain way or only open during certain things, I could actually hand animate that using the controller you see down here. Um, However, his eyes are actually controlled through constraints, which you really can't see here because of the texture. However, if I turn on the wireframe, you can see them actually be modified. And the other technique, the last technique I used to build this rig is pretty straightforward. It's called setting keys. As you can see, when I grab the controller down there, the face glows. And what I got to do now is drag, and without much effort, just drag, and his protective mask comes up. So let's see that without the all that clutter in the way. So let's get rid of the curves real quick, and let's get rid of the bones, for that matter, or joints. And yeah, there you go. So here I'm just using driven keys. His eyes are set up with constraints, and his hands are controlled through code. Three three different systems in one rig in order to get it working nice and fluently. Well, aside from those methods, really I went the traditional route with the rig so that um, the toes can go up and down. I also have pole vectors, so I can control, independent movement here. What's really neat here is, let me make that smaller. His hips also, you know, allow him to move independent. Oh, it looks kind of girly. Hello. No, it allows him to move independently. I better adjust that because that's kind of, I don't know. He's a bot. He's got pride. All right, you know, allows him to move independently. That, but not only that, but should I want to, I could also, adjust where it needs to be, and the independent parts are also have their own controller. So if I want something to move a certain way, I can get it to move that way. The rig is pretty much structured along the pieces, so that if I need a piece to move a certain way, if I need it to behave a certain way, the rig allows me to do that right off the bat. Well, hopefully you enjoyed watching this demonstration of my rig, and leave any comments at the bottom of the page. Thanks. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my unofficial part 2 of my Maya rig. What you see before you is basically the bot already transformed, and the reason I separated the rigs was pretty much to make it easier in terms of just animating. This rig handles independently, and like the previous one, um, parts are broken up so that they function however I need them to function. If I want, his guard right here to go up and down, or if I need his uh, flaps down here to change, I can just grab that point and move it however I want, independently of the rest of the pieces, and then be able to animate that in its current state. This allows for more flexibility than if I were to include both rigs in the same time. Not that it's impossible. It's just this seemed much more easier and easier to manage. Again, streamline and efficiencies was what I was shooting for. And this rig does transform. Um, it's a little rough right now. It needs to be finessed, but in all senses, the term, it does transform, and it does carry nicely. It also, what's nice is this is one of the first rigs I use where scaling comes into play. As you can see, the wheel right here, which is actually the rear wheel, scales and comes into play in the back, while the front wheel just pivots over. Um, Eventually, this is going to become much more intricate, but just to as a quick rough out, this serves the purposes that I was needed. This is actually an independent rig system. The control curves that were used in the other rig are not. They're here. They're present. I can turn them on, and you can see them. Um, See, it causes all this weirdness to happen, and but that when this rig is active, the other rig shuts down, allowing me to switch between both rigs. These rigs exist within each other. It's just that um, this allows me to just be able to focus on one rig at a time and work with that rig when I need it, instead of having to worry about affecting another rig, the other rig accidentally when I'm working on one rig. It's again, the main goal was efficiency and just straightforward ease of use. So yeah, thank you for watching the second half of this unofficial uh, second half. Yeah. All right. Bye.